The haunted bonfire. In the small, close-knit town of Ravenwood, the 4th of July was a cherished holiday. The community gathered every year for a grand celebration at the edge of the woods, where a large clearing provided the perfect setting for a bonfire and fireworks extravaganza. Little did we know that on one fateful Independence Day, the flames of the bonfire would ignite more than just a sense of joy and patriotism. As dusk settled and the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, families and friends converged on the clearing, their laughter and chatter filling the air. The bonfire crackled and roared, casting dancing shadows on the faces of those gathered around it. The scent of burning wood mingled with the tantalizing aroma of sizzling marshmallows as children and adults alike prepared to indulge in the traditional treat of s'mores. Amidst the cheerful anticipation, a sense of unease descended upon me. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something was watching, lurking just beyond the reach of the flickering firelight. But I brushed it off as mere jitters, attributing it to the eerie ambience of the surrounding woods. As the bonfire roared to life, engulfing the sky with a pillar of blazing light, the crowd erupted in applause and cheers. The sparks danced and twirled, mesmerizing us all. Yet, amidst the spectacle, an unusual figure caught my eye. A man, clad in tattered clothes, emerged from the depths of the forest. His unkempt hair and wild eyes gave him an air of madness. He walked with an unsteady gait, as if he were lost or disoriented. The sight of him sent a shiver down my spine, but I couldn't tear my gaze away. The man approached the bonfire, drawing closer with each cautious step. His arrival seemed to go unnoticed by the others, as if he existed in a separate reality. I was compelled to investigate further, my curiosity overriding my initial apprehension. I followed the man's path, trailing behind him as he moved through the crowd. It was as if he possessed an otherworldly ability to evade detection. My heart pounded in my chest as I entered the darkened forest, the crackling sounds of the bonfire slowly fading into the distance. The deeper I ventured, the denser the woods became, and an overwhelming sense of foreboding settled over me. The moon, obscured by a thick canopy of trees, provided little light to guide my way. But something urged me forward, a voice in my mind whispering that there was more to this mysterious man than met the eye. After what felt like an eternity of walking through the dense undergrowth, I stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood a dilapidated cabin, its weathered wood barely standing against the passage of time. It emanated an aura of abandonment and decay, as if it had been untouched for years. My heart raced as I approached the cabin, its creaking door beckoning me inside. The flickering flames of a candle revealed a room frozen in time. Dust-covered furniture and faded photographs adorned the walls, capturing the memories of a forgotten past. A peculiar photograph caught my attention, a group of people huddled around a bonfire, their faces contorted with fear and anguish. The caption beneath the photograph read, "Ravenwood, 4th of July, 1923. As I continued to explore, a hidden compartment beneath the floorboards caught my eye. I pried it open, revealing a stack of letters, their yellowed pages filled with tales of tragedy and despair. They spoke of a curse that had befallen the town, a malevolent presence that awoke on every 4th of July, seeking retribution for a long-forgotten transgression. The curse, it seemed, was linked to the bonfire, an eternal flame that held the souls of the restless spirits trapped within the woods. Every year, as the bonfire blazed, the spirits would emerge, their torment fueling the fires that illuminated the night sky. I realized that the man I had followed was one of those spirits, trapped in a perpetual loop of seeking solace and redemption. His tormented existence had drawn me into this tale of darkness and sorrow, a tale that needed resolution. With newfound determination, I gathered the letters and rushed back to the bonfire, now slowly dying out. I knew I had to break the curse, to free the spirits and release them from their eternal torment. As the last embers of the bonfire flickered, I recited the words written in the letters, a plea for forgiveness, a plea for redemption. The air grew heavy, the atmosphere electrified, as if the very essence of the curse trembled with anticipation. And then, with a final burst of light, the bonfire extinguished, and the surrounding woods fell silent. A sense of peace washed over me, a knowing that I had succeeded in breaking the curse that had haunted Ravenwood for decades. As I made my way back to the clearing, the townspeople were awakening from a collective trance. Confusion and bewilderment filled their faces as they attempted to piece together the events that had unfolded. The bonfire, once a beacon of celebration, had become a vessel for spirits trapped between worlds. The 4th of July would forever be a reminder of the darkness that lurked within the woods surrounding Ravenwood. But now, there was hope, a chance for the town to heal, to overcome the shadows of the past and embrace a future free from the haunting legacy that had plagued them. Ravenwood would forever hold the memory of that haunted bonfire, a testament to the strength and resilience of its community. and as the years passed, the bonfire would continue to burn on the 4th of July, but now, it would serve as a symbol of unity, a beacon of light guiding the way towards a brighter, unburdened future.
It was the 4th of July, a day of celebration and patriotism, but little did I know that this particular holiday would forever be etched in my memory as the most terrifying experience of my life. The events I am about to recount took place on a quaint suburban street called Independence Lane, where the American flags waved proudly, and the scent of barbecue filled the air. It was a picture-perfect summer evening as families gathered in their backyards, preparing to witness the annual fireworks display that would light up the night sky. My friends and I decided to join the festivities at the home of the Johnsons, a friendly family who always went above and beyond to celebrate the 4th of July. The Johnsons had spared no expense in decorating their house. Red, white, and blue bunting adorned the porch railings, while miniature American flags dotted the front yard. The atmosphere was electric, filled with laughter, music, and the anticipation of the dazzling fireworks show that awaited us. As darkness fell, the crowd grew in anticipation. The first burst of colorful sparks exploded in the sky, captivating everyone's attention. The fireworks danced above us, mesmerizing us with their beauty. But little did we know that something far more sinister was about to unfold. In the midst of the celebration, a sudden chill ran down my spine. I dismissed it as nothing more than a figment of my imagination, blaming it on the eerie ambience created by the fireworks. But as the night progressed, that feeling of unease intensified. As the grand finale of the fireworks display approached, I excused myself to use the restroom inside the Johnsons' house. It was a large, two-story home that exuded warmth and comfort. However, as I climbed the stairs to the second floor, a creaking sound echoed through the hallway, sending shivers down my spine. Ignoring the growing sense of trepidation, I entered the bathroom and quickly splashed water on my face, hoping to shake off the feeling of unease. As I stared into the mirror, my heart skipped a beat. In the reflection, I caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure standing in the hallway behind me. Panic consumed me as I spun around, but the figure had vanished. Shaken but determined to find an explanation, I cautiously explored the upper floor. Each room seemed untouched, frozen in time, except for one door at the end of the hallway. It stood slightly ajar, inviting me to uncover its secrets. With trembling hands, I pushed the door open, revealing a room filled with dusty furniture and forgotten memories. The air felt thick and oppressive, as if the room had been untouched for years. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling, and a musty odor filled the air. My heart raced as I realized that I had stumbled upon a forgotten part of the house. As I stepped further into the room, my eyes were drawn to an old photograph hanging crookedly on the wall. It depicted a family, smiling and joyful, but their eyes held an inexplicable sadness. My gaze shifted to the inscription beneath the photograph, which read, "The Johnsons, Independence Day, 1978. A sudden realization washed over me, and the pieces of the puzzle began to fit together. I had heard whispers of a tragedy that struck the Johnson family decades ago, but the details were always shrouded in mystery. Rumor had it that on the 4th of July in 1978, the Johnsons' youngest daughter had disappeared without a trace, leaving the family devastated. Haunted by the photograph and the chilling energy in the room, I hurried downstairs, my mind consumed with a newfound urgency. I had to warn the Johnsons and the other guests, for I believed that something supernatural was lurking within the house. As I reached the bottom of the stairs, a deafening explosion tore through the night, drowning out the sounds of laughter and celebration. The fireworks had taken an ominous turn, casting an eerie glow over Independence Lane. Panic ensued as people scrambled to find safety, and I desperately searched for the Johnsons, knowing that time was running out. Suddenly, I heard a blood-curdling scream emanating from the backyard. Following the sound, I stumbled upon a shocking scene. The Johnsons stood frozen, their faces etched with terror, as a spectral figure materialized before them. It was a young girl, dressed in tattered clothing, her eyes empty and hollow. The apparition reached out, a ghastly wail escaping her lips, and then vanished into thin air. The 4th of July had transformed from a day of celebration into a night of horror. The once joyous atmosphere on Independence Lane had been tainted by a long-forgotten tragedy that refused to remain buried in the past. The apparition of the Johnsons' daughter had returned, seeking solace or revenge, her restless spirit forever bound to the place she once called home. To this day, Independence Lane remains haunted by the events of that fateful 4th of July. The Johnsons moved away, unable to bear the weight of the supernatural presence that plagued their lives. The house now stands vacant, a chilling reminder of the ghostly encounters that occurred on that cursed night. As for me, the haunting on Independence Lane forever changed my perception of the 4th of July. No longer can I celebrate without a sense of unease, haunted by the spirits that roamed the streets on this otherwise joyful holiday. The 4th of July will forever be a chilling reminder that even amidst the brightest fireworks, the darkest secrets can unravel, and the spirits of the past can come back to claim what was once theirs.